All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is an episode of What's Happening 613. And with COVID and all this crazy crap, we all have to learn how to adapt to the times. So today I'm doing another Zoom meeting on my What's Happening. And I have been watching this guy online. I have not met him yet, but I have friends that know him. And I've been watching him online. And this is Shook Planet. He's been, I think ever since quarantine started, this guy did like a 60-day live stream thing. So like this guy, anyways, let's just jump right into this. So here it is, Shook Planet. How's it going, brother?
Good, man. How are you, Joel?
I'm really good. Yeah, thanks a lot for having taking a couple minutes with me and giving me some songs, man. Like seriously, you really raise up my spirits every time I see you play. You're just a fun. You're to me, you're almost like you're a figment of my imagination almost, because I've only seen you on my screen and you're so funky, dude. Like you're one cool cat.
Oh, I appreciate that, dude. That's funny too. That ties in. I used to have a friend that went to a different school to me when we were kids. All his friends thought I was his imaginary friend because they didn't believe I was real. So that totally ties in. I like that.
That's really cool. Let's start at the beginning, man. So you go by the name Shook Planet, but your real name is Ted Evans, correct?
Yes, yeah. Shook Planet, kind of for my stage name, and yeah, I was given the name Ted Evans.
That's good, man. That's good. So where are you from, dude?
I'm from Kingston, Ontario. Lived here basically my whole life. I went to school a little bit in Belleville for broadcast journalism. I've done a bit of radio stuff in and around the Kingston area. And yeah, I'm still just based right here in Kingston doing music.
That's really cool, man. So yeah, like I know you're pretty heavy in the music scene up there in Kingston too. Like we have a mutual friend, Jack Mead. He's a good friend of mine. We do a Greasy Bearings podcast together. And so I kind of picked his brain about you. He said you've been like heavy involved in the Kingston music scene. Like you've had a few bands before COVID hit, correct?
Oh yeah. I've been playing, I guess, in bands. I think I was 18 when I first got in like the first band on the scene, and then I've just been, meeting people all over the scene like Jack and now meeting people through people, and that's the great thing about the Kingston music scene and just any music scene really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. And the music really brings people together because it's a whole nother language, correct? Like it's a religion to us,
Definitely.
It's so cool, dude. So like I want to like talk about your setup here. Like, so how did you get started doing this kind of stuff? I know it's all kind of based around the loop station there, correct?
Yeah. This is kind of like the main piece right here is this loop station. It's got 5 tracks where you can lay stuff down on one track and it's keep adding stuff on top, and then you've got faders that you can pull it in and out, and you can really go anywhere with this thing. It's just quite a musician or songwriter, I think.
Yeah, that's so cool. I know because Jack's got one too, and I did an episode with MBM, and he made some beats and like made his song right in front of me, and it's so cool to watch you do the same thing. Like you do a guitar riff, and then you throw in the bass line, and you have a drum machine on it, and you go over to the keys. So why don't you walk us through what you're using? Like why don't you go and what do you have going on here?
So yeah, with the loop station, we'll get something started on there, usually like a drum beat or even just a metronome, something to keep me in time. And then from there, I'll record something like I've got some keys over here with, just a ton of sounds, as most keyboards do. I've got them running through effects so I can, even edit those sounds and dial those sounds in a little bit. We've got this thing right here where you can probably see some green stuff dancing around on the screen. This is like another synthesizer. It's called a chord K-oscillator. And it's just another thing filled with a bunch of different sounds. And then you play it by touching the screen. Like when you're on the bottom side here, like on the left, you've got your lower notes all the way up to your higher notes, and then whether you're up or down on the screen is how much effects you've got on the notes. I've got a theremin over here too, which cool. That's a pretty fun instrument. It's one of these things. The closer you get to it, the higher the note goes, and then it's got another little section over here, which is your volume. Like the closer you get to it, and the further you get to it. So you're just playing music like in the air. Got a couple guitars and got an effects pedal down here, like I said, that I'm running things through as well as like a board, like a mixing board that everything goes into, and then into the looper. It's like a whole chain of all these instruments all into one thing. It's pretty cool.
It is so cool, man. So like, oh, this I really wish I can't wait until all this COVID's done. I really want you to have me up there so I can come look,
Yeah.
because to do what you're doing takes so much time and so much effort and so much knowledge. Like, so like obviously you started with like you said, you could start with the keyboard and it goes, and then you just keep adding things and adding things, right? Because I kind of was watching you throughout your live stream thing, and you're getting like little robots and
Yeah.
stuff dancing with you. It's so
Yeah.
amazing. So cool. So
Yeah,
with
I
the
was just I was
sermon,
just trying to add in like those 66 days. Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, what's that?
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was going to say, yeah, with those 66 days. Yeah, I know we're getting a bit of cutting in and out, but all
Okay.
good. We can, I'm sure you can edit it and stuff. But
That's right.
yeah, either way, yeah, so I got those 66 days, just trying to change things up, you know, same thing for 66 days in a row. So yeah, I was adding stuff like the robot, like you said, and just, I think I added theremin halfway through that. I went and bought that. I was just trying to like add things and make this room crazier and crazier every time.
Yeah, it's so cool. So like, what is it called again? Is it theremin? Or was it?
Yeah, it's a theremin.
Yeah. So people will know
Yeah,
that noise.
THE. Yeah.
Yes, people will know that noise from
Oh
almost
yeah.
like Star Trek, right?
Oh yeah, man. It's yeah, exactly. There's a Beach Boys song. Well, I think there's a "Good Vibrations" by the Beach Boys has a nice theremin line in it.
Yeah.
They've been around for a long time. Like I think it was invented in like the 1920s or 30s or something, with this like magnetic field and a metal arm. Some like musical genius came up with it, and they're still making new versions of them today.
Yeah, I bet you any money when the first person who made it, it was a mistake, and they're like, "Whoa, I'm kind of getting close to this thing, and it's making noise, right?" Like it's so cool, so cool.
That's probably so true.
Yeah, awesome, man. So you look like you're on a spaceship right now, dude. It's so awesome. I love it. Like you got this whole persona going about you, and you're just like you are. You're a character. It's amazing. So do you have like Shook Planet? I know for a fact, but let's talk about it. So you're making
Sure.
some amazing music here, and this is all original music. So when you're making these songs, like you just like I know you go from like dancey songs to more like guitar-y songs and all that. Like, how do you go about making songs?
Yeah, that's a good question actually, because that's a lot of people are kind of confused about the whole like me as Shook Planet thing. Like they're like, so what is Shook Planet? Like a rock band or like a folk band? Like are you like a DJ? Like what? And it's really what it is. It's just me, like as a songwriter and producer, kind of putting out like anything, just anything really. Like I've been in bands before, like a metal band or a punk band, and you sit there with a guitar and you're trying to write songs, and sometimes you write something, you're like, oh, that doesn't really fit, the band that I'm in right now. It'd be nice to release that somewhere else or have another outlet to be able to release all these songs. And that's kind of what I'm doing with Shook Planet is all these songs that I just kind of make, whether it's, just a day, like I come down here and pick up the guitar and I'm like, oh, that's a nice guitar riff. It doesn't fit with my band, the Meringues. It doesn't fit with, whatever else other projects I'm playing in. So I'll just make it a Shook Planet song and start out like again with the loop station, and that's kind of where I start every time now that I've got this, and I've been doing Shook Planet is got a lot of gripping tool. When I go to record the song, sometimes I don't like use the loop station. I'm just like recording, all the parts for the song, but the loop station's a great writing and kind of like live performance tool. So, I mean, the genres I get into, that's just kind of, I guess, how I'm feeling that day or just what happens to come out at that time, like turn on a new effect and, a new cool riff comes out and I'm like, well, that's the new Shook Planet song, I guess.
That's right. That's so cool. I know exactly what you mean. You just wake up and even like you get inspired by like what kind of bands are you into? What kind of music are you inspired by?
Well, that's always been like a big, I think that's a huge question for like
Yeah.
any musician, because like any musician, if you really dig into it, they probably listen to so much music, right? And
Yeah.
but then we have these phases too where it's like I go like weeks and weeks where I listen to like the same 5 songs just over and over, like on repeat. And I'm like, oh yeah, like other music exists. Like I forgot about that. And you have these moments, but I think the stuff that I really draw from, like for musical influence, in like my writing and a lot of like my vocals, a band that I've listened to since I was like 12 years old, Franz Ferdinand,
Hmm.
from Scotland. I heard their song "Take Me Out" when I was like 12. It was on like Much Loud. It was
Yeah.
after school. I came home and that song was on, and I was instantly hooked. And I didn't have like that was before like I didn't have a cell phone at that point. I didn't have any of that stuff. And I just like put it in my mind. I was like, remember this band's name. And then like a few weeks later, I just like woke up and I was like, who's this band that I was trying to think of? I remember I saw this video and it all just like rushed back, and I went down to the old family computer and I looked them up, downloaded Take Me Out, and I don't know, I've been buying their albums and kind of like being influenced by, their lyrics and their songwriting for, ever since I've been writing music. So they're a huge influence. A lot of classic rock, and I think that goes for a lot of people who play guitar at all. There's like a lot of classic rock riffs and songs you just kind of like have to learn at the start, especially if you're gonna like bring your guitar to like a campfire. People are like, man, you have to know this song, you got to know this song, and there's ones you got to know, and they become influences too. Um, and then something really recently that I've enjoyed that was like super inspirational. I came right downstairs, started making music as soon as I listened to it. Um, Paul McCartney put out Paul McCartney 3, and then he put out Paul McCartney 3 Reimagined, where he had like all these different artists redo his songs from that album. And so there's all these like different versions of the songs, and I listened to his album and then the other songs after, and just the way these artists were taking these songs and making like completely new things. That's what I want to do. I heard them and I was like, man, I have so many of these little like ideas on my phone that are more like, the Paul McCartney album, not saying that they're as good as Paul McCartney, but more like an idea, and then the stuff that comes after it where someone takes that idea and makes something like completely modern or, you know, just different with it. And I love that kind of stuff, taking ideas, whether they're your own or just a popular kind of trend or theme in music that's going on right now, and you take it, make it your own, and apply it to your own songs. That's really fun as a producer, I think. And yeah, I think my influences definitely range from like brand new stuff all the way back to like, yeah, like Beatles and like even like class. I don't know. I listen to classical. I turn on CBC, classic music will be on, and I'm like, man, I need to write songs like that. Like everything just like inspires me. I'll run down here and like start making something, and I'm like, it's not good, but it's inspired by something good.
Yeah.
And then it gets good. And
Yeah. I
I
feel yeah.
work on it and make it good.
Yeah. I feel yeah. I love like you can't like you listen to like jazz and you take like jazz riffs, you know what I mean? Like every I'm the same way. Like I think every
Yeah.
artist is a mass thing, because like you listen to classical music and you hear those strings and you hear them come in and you're like, oh, I want that effect into my music, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's just
definitely.
every kind of genre kind of brings a new life to your music, and you're using all what I really feel, and it's really cool. It's inspiring. It really is.
Well, I'm glad it's coming across too in that way because, like I said, that's where a lot of what I'm doing comes from is the inspiration of the music I'm listening to, stuff that just, comes across my news feed. I'm like, whoa, I've never heard this before, but now I need to make a song like this. You run down and, stuff like that is so cool, I think, for any musician, fans of music. And it's really great when, like you hear someone say they can hear it in your music or your own music is inspiring. And that's really great. So thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's so cool. So like you're obviously producing lots of songs here, and I know you've worked with a few other kind of artists around there. Where can
Yeah.
people find your music and stuff like that?
So I've got a lot of it up on Bandcamp and SoundCloud and YouTube, like for free ones. It's also on Spotify, Music, any of like the main paid for streaming platforms. But if you're just doing free streaming, you can find it all on YouTube. I would say my most content is on YouTube right now, because not only are there, the audio of my actual songs, there's also a lot of performance videos, stuff from me playing at the Isabel Bader here in Kingston, stuff where I played down at Market Square here in Kingston, some of my Instagram live videos I saved and put on YouTube. And yeah, I mean, I would check out, I can obviously provide the link, but yeah, check out my YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go into where I actually found you. You at the beginning. So how did this live stream 66 days thing go? Were you like doing something with Socan or something like that? I heard, or what was going on there? Because I know at the beginning of COVID, you started doing this stream thing. So can you explain that to us?
Yeah, for sure. So what Socan did, or well, I guess what Socan is, they're like a songwriting group for artists and songwriters in Canada. When you release music and it maybe hits the radio or gets wherever and then gets tracked back, you can get paid for that. So it's just like a performance rights organization here in Canada for songwriters. So I joined that up, as I think a lot of songwriters have. And they had this program come out geared towards, the pandemic and musicians being at home, not playing gigs. And it's called the Encore program. So that was what they would do is pay $150 to artists who played a video live on Facebook or Instagram that was either half hour long or included 10 of their original songs that are in their Socan catalog. And then if that video got 1,000 views within 90 days, Socan will pay that $150. So I decided, I researched, I did my research, and I had seen some of the frequently asked questions, and people were saying like, is there any limit? Can I do like 100 of these shows? Can I do like 50? Is there a limit, like one per week or something? And Socan said there's no limit. So I took that. I said, okay, well, from right now till the end of the program, which was March 7th of 2021, so that's 66 days. I said, if I go live every single day and I hit that 1,000 view goal, that's 66 videos with 1,000 views and $150 for each video. And I mean, just the math alone added up to almost $10,000. And I was like, that's enough for me to want to do this if it works. And even the first day, like I had these viewers on, because I was streaming to like a bunch of services like Twitch and YouTube, all simultaneously, just to kind of like, have more viewers and get out to more people. But yeah, I was getting viewers right away, and it was kind of building, and people were like, yeah, no, I was getting kind of like all different responses at first. There were some people on Twitch who were kind of like trolling and saying some pretty mean things, as you get on the internet sometimes. Yeah. And then there was obviously all the support and the nice people being like, man, this rocks. I can't wait to see you make it to 66 days. And, hitting all the milestones throughout it. Like I'd get to day 20 and I was like, man, I've been doing this for 20 days in a row. And even that, then I'd get to like day 40 or 50 and I'm looking back and thinking like day 20 was nothing. Like, we're here now, and we did 66 days. All the videos hit the goal, and now I'm just waiting on Socan to pay me.
Oh my God, man. Wow, dude. I have to say, congratulations. That right there proves that if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And this stuff is out there, like you said. So I honestly, man, I actually kind of got chills when you just said that, dude. I'm like really, I don't even know you, and I'm proud of you, man. Like that is amazing.
Oh, thanks,
what an
dude.
accomplishment. That is so cool.
I appreciate that. It was cool too, like just finding out things too I didn't expect, like just finding new fans and finding out stuff about myself that getting up, getting ready, like showering, shaving, making sure I look good every single day for 66 days. I wasn't doing that as an artist. I would have my days where I just lounge around and in pajamas and whatever, but this was like every day at like 6 o'clock, I had to be ready, like down here, everything set. I was preparing my set every day. And it was funny too, because like the big question, especially nearing the end, is like, what are you going to do after? And I was like, I want to stream more. And live streaming, that became the whole thing. Was like, it started off as like, I want to make this money from Socan, but it just became such like I was, making friends, meeting people from just standing here in my basement playing alone, basically, like to no one, but it was really to a lot of people, and we were connecting. It turned out really fun, a lot more than I could have expected. And then what I ended up doing after was just kind of like chilling out for like I took like a week or two off of not even really like coming down here making a lot of music. I just kind of chilled and took some like mental space and was like, wow, like
Take
I
it
don't have
in.
to. The first day it was, yeah, just take it in. Yeah, the first day, exactly. I was just like, I got up and I just didn't really know what to do with myself, and I just kind of relaxed. And then once I got back to it, I've done some live streaming since, since taking a break and finishing that all up. And it's just like it always was. There's a great crowd there, great support. People jump in and, they're just commenting, seeing the comments pop up live. Nothing like a real show, but it's pretty cool. It's still got its own vibe, and it's really cool to make those connections.
Well, to tell you the truth, man, like you said, you got up every day, shaved, made sure you're looking ballin'. Like you're one cool cat, bro. Like you got this persona about you. And that right there, I bet you any money, probably like COVID almost was a little bit of a blessing to you.
I definitely found, some, found the positives when there was,
Yeah.
a lot of negatives going on. I
Yeah, man.
used
Like
my
every day
time
you had to get up and
wisely.
get dressed, right? Like it's like I have to get
Yeah,
good, I have to look good. Like everybody else is, oh, COVID sucks, and you're like, nah, man. And to
I
tell
got
you the
it.
truth,
Yeah.
and to tell you the truth, man, like we all were looking forward to 6 o'clock at night to see what you're up to, and to tell you the truth, like my kids watched you, like all of us, we just had it on and we're just on my computer while we're like doing our own thing because it's just funky, man. It was so
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's wicked. That's wicked. I appreciate that so much too.
like
And
so
hearing
we're
that, yeah.
So were you doing this before COVID, or like were you doing Shook Planet? Like when did Shook Planet start? Like did you start this for COVID, or like were you already kind of playing beforehand?
It was literally like I put out my first single like right before this whole thing hit, really. Like I think my first single was Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2020 is when I put out my first single. And then like I remember the first thing that really got canceled was I think March 7th. So not that long after, the next month, we had this video premiere at the Kingston Canadian Music Festival or Kingston Canadian Film Festival. It was supposed to be at the Ale House. It was like they were going to play all the music videos that got chosen, to make a music video that year. There was like a Kingston initiative where the Kingston Film Office helped fund a bunch of videos. We got selected with the Meringues. We did the video. It was going to premiere, and then it got canceled because of COVID. And we haven't, done anything with the band since then because we can't get together. We can't play a show. We can't do any of it. And this really did take off. Like Shook Planet and my solo stuff really took off because of that. I really had like no other focuses. But yeah, I guess to answer the question, I didn't really start it because of it. It just really timed out oddly that I put out my first single I still had plans to be more active with the band, the Meringues, but then, yeah, COVID hit and this became my main thing.
Well, can we touch in on the Meringues a little bit? Because you're like,
Yeah.
If that has any of the footing of what you got going on here, I can't wait to see that, like, this band. So what's the Meringues?
So the Meringues are like a punk band. There's Amanda is the lead singer, and myself. We're kind of like dual lead singers. We're kind of back and forth. I sing and play guitar. Amanda sings. We've got a bassist, Jeremy, and a drummer, Alistair. And so we're like a 4-piece. And I guess, I don't know, our shows were always pretty fun, pretty wild on stage. Amanda and I used to get into a lot of antics. She would always like tie me up with her mic cord, and like we did like lots of crazy kind of like shocking things on stage. And we were always dressed to the nines. We always had like fun jackets and shiny clothes and all just like fun stuff. And like I had super long hair. It was just a whole different I know, like I was like a different character, I guess. If you're, if I'm a character here, I was another character in the Meringues.
Yeah.
And now I've kind of shifted more into this Shook Planet character for now.
That's so cool. That's what Jack told me. Jack said like between you and the female singer there, and he said it was really cool because you have a female singer, which is a whole nother thing which you don't see too much, especially in the punk era or punk scene, right? But he said that you two are just like a show of your own. Like people want to come see what the hell you two are gonna like you said, you're tying each other up. And you know what, man, if you're gonna go out and be it, you gotta dress for the job, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. I've always said that. I thought that since the very first band I was in, we used to do the same thing. We'd take the guitar player, we'd like raid his mom's closet and put on like sequin clothes and like tight red pants and all this stuff, and people loved it. And we could have just went up in like a t-shirt and jeans, the stuff we wore to work that day, and it would have looked like, there's my buddy up on stage, I'm supporting my friend, but it's just my buddy. Whereas when we walked in like that, everyone was like, man, there's the band, like they are here to play.
Yeah, exactly. Turn and look, right? Oh my God, look at these guys, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I'm in a band called the Sterling Jaybirds, and we're like an old time jug band, and I tell all my guys, you have to dress with like a friggin' either bow tie or like it has to be collared shirt, like put some suspenders on, get an old hat on, like let's look 1920s, you know what I mean? Like it's just people are paying to come see you, so you might as well dress for the job, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Yeah. I just really think it's part of it, and I really appreciate what you're doing with that, because it's like you said, you put on a persona and you're like, you're Ted Evans, but when you come in this room and put those sunglasses on, you're Shook Planet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to, like I'll have people come over. I mean, not recently, obviously, but before the last shutdown, I'd have people come over and like record here, because this is kind of like a little mini studio as well. Mostly just for like vocals and simple things. Like I don't really record like full drums or anything here, but people come over and they'll be like, yo, what's up, Shook? Like, how you doing? And they're calling me Shook. And I'm like, yes, like when I'm in this music room, like I am Shook. I'm Shook Planet.
You're like, you should be like Mr. Rogers. When you walk in that room, you got to put on a different sweater. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think it was Mr. Rogers when he came in, he like put off one cardigan and put on another cardigan, Yeah. Now I'm Shook. That's awesome.
Exactly. Put on the uniform.
Cool. That's right. It's so cool, man.
Tyrannosaurus Pets, and this is your Animal Break. Today we're talking about ferrets. How cute is that face? Did you know that ferrets have been domesticated for about 2,500 years? Now, they weren't always popular as a pet. That came much later, starting around 1920s, and then of course in the 80s, boom, super popular. But these guys were used a lot of the times as little workhorses. Did you know that a ferret actually helped run all the wires through tunnels for a royal wedding at the Buckingham Palace? How cool is that? They were also used for many other purposes, even cleaning pipes and tunnels. But now we love the little things as pets. They are intelligent, inquisitive, and playful as can be. Well, I hope you had an awesome animal break. Take care.
Like, seriously, I don't know. Is there anything you want to promote coming up? Like, I know nothing's coming up, but is there anything you want to promote? Like, I know you got some new music coming out and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, I got one new song coming out June 4th. It's called Kill Your Old Self. I played it a lot live. I had like a demo version out for a little while on Bandcamp. I'm releasing the full thing coming up June 4th. I've got a brand new song too called Evil Things that I haven't played live for anybody. And I think I'll premiere it on this episode of What's Happening.
That's right, man. I just watched that and I was like, you're like, I'm ready for the thing. I'm like, I'm watching this song right now, man. I'm shook up, dude. This is awesome. It's so good.
That's wicked. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
That's so cool, dude. So let's plug where we can find your music one more time. So like you said,
Sure.
like Bandcamp, YouTube, Spotify. Can people buy your music on like iTunes or Apple Music or that shit, or?
Yeah, it's available to buy on those ones. Bandcamp too. I've got a thing where you can name your price. You can download any of the music for free, but if you feel like chipping in a buck or two, you definitely can.
That's cool.
You know, it goes and Bandcamp too is a nice thing because some Fridays they'll do what's called a Bandcamp Friday, where like 100% of the proceeds go to the artist. There's no fees that go back to Bandcamp. And so things like that are nice. You know, if you're really into supporting an artist, making sure they're getting, you know, more of the money that you're putting in. The way it used to be, obviously, was go to the merch table at the show. But there's no shows. My digital merch table, I haven't really made much, or if any, Shook Planet merch yet.
Oh.
I've been actually kind of teasing and testing the waters of some NFT drops, like getting into that whole marketplace, which is just it's confusing to say the least, but it's interesting because a lot of people are making some money by putting out some like weird art and GIFs and stuff, or dropping an album and giving out perks with NFTs.
So what is NFT?
It's kind of cool.
What is NFT? Can you explain that to me a little bit, or?
So it stands for non-fungible token, but so what that means, like, I'll put it in terms of like a band. Yeah. So there's a band right now that has their own kind of cryptocurrency, or kind of, these tokens. And this band's called Portugal the Man. What they do, they created this thing. You can buy little tokens or a character or like a little card. And it's just like a digital file. But owning that and being able to prove that you own it, by owning the NFT, the non-fungible token, means then you can get perks either from the band. Like they say anyone who owns this token who's bought, let's say they've got 10 tokens. There's the top tier, the middle tier, and like the bottom tier, and like everything in between. If you've bought, they say everyone with the top tier, you can get into any of our shows for free. You just prove that you've bought this token. And that token has like a little like green character or something. And like, so you own this little digital file, but then it also proves, and there's no way for anyone to fake that, because it's kind of it's connected to what's called the blockchain. And again, this is where it starts to get over my head a little bit personally, but it's kind of this thing where I don't know, it's like any cryptocurrency. It's tied into this chain, this blockchain of information. And you can't delete stuff. You can't like copy or fake stuff from that. Yeah. There's only one. There's only like one
you buy. Everybody, you can't. Yeah. Follow. Because I've been listening to a couple podcasts and heard them talk about NFT merch or something like that. I'm like, what the hell is this? So it's funny because it was literally today I heard it. That's why when you said that, that's cool. That's really neat because I don't know. Can I suggest something for some merch for you? So when I was watching you, like you said, like you kept adding more stuff. You had like a little robot. I think your little robot should be one of your shirts. And then also, where's your Lego setup?
Oh yeah.
Show us your Lego setup.
Okay. So I've got
the little, cool.
The back wall here, which is kind of like the remake of this room. I've got the keyboard that I can put off to the side, just like it is. Excuse me, just like it is there. I've got me with the little mustache and blue shirt, red pants. And then this is kind of like one of the nicer pieces. This has the loop station and the K oscillator and the theremin. So just get all that there, and then I've got me and mini-me in Lego. It's perfect.
See, I told you, man, you're a character. You're a figment of our imagination, man. Like, it's hilarious. You should literally, I don't know if you have or not, but I haven't seen it, but you should make, like, my daughter made stop motion, a bunch of Lego stop motion movies. You should seriously do a song to stop motion with your guy.
I did a short video of that, and it was like half stop motion and like half like me messing around with like effects and stuff. So that's another thing you can find on my YouTube. That song's called Back and Forth. I also did a live performance of that for this episode. But yeah, that one I've got kind of this Lego guy starring in that video, and he does a few little stop motion moves.
Yes, that's so cool, man. Like, so you should have that as your t-shirt, like your Lego guy. Like, that's you, man. That could be your NFTs.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah, that's really cool, man.
That's so true. That's so true. And I think the big thing, to take away anything from the NFT thing, is that the way it's similar to like a cryptocurrency or like stocks in a sense. Like, if you invest in one of these bands that have their own NFTs and you say, okay, I'm going to buy the top tier token so I can get into their VIP shows, I can do all this with, whatever the perks are. That's great. And then whenever you're bored of that or done with that, you can sell it back in or sell it to someone and get your money back. So you've kind of invested in the band for the time that you're interested. And then you get your money back and the band doesn't lose it. Like, it's all still positive for them.
It's stocks.
And you can get in and out just like stocks. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you're a share owner of the band.
Exactly. So that's like a really cool, like, new way that the NFT market and crypto and all that is going for bands. And I'd love to get in on that. Like, as an indie artist, I think it's big, obviously, right now for larger artists, people who have like a huge following, because they do a drop like that and millions of people are already on top of it.
Yeah.
It's obviously harder, as it is with anything for like an independent artist, but I still think it's a cool thing to get on, like, while it's still kind of new and fresh. And if something takes off, then something takes off.
Well, that's just it. Like literally, we all know a few people who have been like, have made it or have made some money and they have a name now. So could you imagine that? Like, I got in on the NFT on the ground floor with Shook Planet. Like, that's what I'm saying. Right. I think you should do it because you have something, you have a beautiful mind, you have a beautiful soul, and you can play like a banshee, man. So I think you should do it, dude.
Oh yeah, I've been putting a little bit of time into getting the NFT thing figured out. But yeah, once I get it like set, I'd love to start pushing that and kind of getting people like invested, like get people as like Shook Planet shareholders, right? And
then they'll be like, because they're shareholders, they'll be your street team. They'll be like, have you heard of Shook Planet?
Invested, yeah, they're fully invested, and both like financially and emotionally, and
exactly.
That's cool.
Well, it's just the thing, man. It's like we said with live streaming and like with the Zoom call we're doing right now, we all need to learn how to adapt to this, because it's crazy. Like the order just got extended. I think I heard, I don't even listen to the news, but I heard that the stay-at-home order is extended. I'm a essential worker myself, so I've been out in this thing the whole entire time. But
oh wow,
I don't know what, man. It's just wash your hands, wear a mask. It's just like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But soon enough, when this is all said and done, will Shook Planet be going out and doing live shows?
That's something I've toyed with a lot because I've done a couple throughout the pandemic. Like I did a small show at Musiki Cafe in Kingston here. And I brought out my whole setup. Like I went out with like cases and cases of gear.
I bet.
With, like all this, like just everything. I brought everything. Set it, like the table, everything. Set it all up on I even brought my laptop and my camera and filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because like it did take a lot. It was a small, like we knew it was going to be a small show because it was, there were restrictions in place at the time. There was only, I think 25 people allowed in the back patio kind of thing. And it was fun, but yeah, that's something I toyed with. Like, am I going to play shows with Shook Planet? I definitely want to because it's fun. I love doing this. I think it just really has to be the right, like, I'm not going to take as many, like the same amount of gigs as I would have with the Meringues. Like we used to take basically like any and every gig. Yeah. Because we just bring out a few amps, some drums, and just get up there. And there's 4 of us, all to carry gear and do stuff. Exactly. But this is a little more, I guess, complicated. But I mean, no less fun. It's as much fun, and it's what I love to do. So I would say, yeah. I'm gonna play Shook Planet after all this. It might as well just be a yes.
Yeah, that's right, man. Well, we need you there. You're like this. You're gonna be like this little special thing that like, oh, Shook Planet's playing. He only plays once every 4 months, so we gotta go see him. You know what I mean? That's the kind of cool thing too. It's like
we gotta get there.
Quality over quantity, right? And like I know what you mean with the other band. It's like you're going out and you're having fun, and it's I got thinking about it too with you saying you had to carry all this gear. It's like, remember, like, well, we don't remember, but back in the day when hip hop first started, they'd carry out these humongous speakers and like crates and crates and crates of records. And now you are the record player with DJ, your guitar. You know what I mean? So like you are a DJ now, really. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, this thing definitely brings in a lot of DJ elements. Just kind of, bringing in tracks, dropping effects, doing, drum drops and all this kind of stuff. And it's something I miss too from a band. Like sometimes I bring in the drums and like I can feel myself like wanting to like look back and like look at the drummer as he comes in. I'm like, oh yeah, no, there's no drummer back there.
That's right. And that's the thing when you have when you're in a 4-piece band too. Like for you to carry all that gear somewhere, you're gonna need 4 buddies to help you. But when you're in a 4-piece band, everybody's carrying everybody's amps up and helping set up drums, and it's just, and like I know how it is too, being on stage by myself. Consider being on stage with your friends because you guys feed off each other, right? Like there's something there. So I've had that question too, kind of like, if I do shows with Shook Planet, am I gonna kind of build a band? No, maybe like a live band, and that's definitely something I've thought about big time. Is having a live drummer would be sweet. Yeah, obviously that's always fun, and adds a lot to a show. I think any show. Even if it was just 2 of us, that would be cool, like someone to feed off of and bounce back and forth with. Or if there's, maybe a bass player too. I don't know. It's something I think about a lot for sure. Yeah, man, it'd be cool.
And then it kind of gives you a bit of freedom up here.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Like if you had a couple of it, you kind of like, you'd be on the keys and you could walk over and do something, and he'd come over to the keys and like, what I mean? You guys could just feed off each other and just keep going. It'd be cool.
Very true.
Yeah. Then it'd have to be Shook Planets, right?
And that's what I'm thinking is like, do I change the name? Is it like Shook Planet and something, or like Shook and the Planets, or like
exactly Shook Planet and Moon?
Yeah, right. Like, oh man, like there's so many possibilities here, and
sure, dude. Well,
I think I like that though. Like that's the beauty of it, is maybe I'll go out and do a solo show, and then the next set I'll bring in a drummer, and then. I'll change it up every time, whatever the set calls for, I guess.
Yeah. I met a guy once and he was doing a loop pedal thing, and he said he tried to do a couple people in with it, and he said just sometimes too many minds in it is too much. So sometimes it's cool just to do your own thing with it. But I have to say, man, like this has been a really, it's like you're making some amazing music, and I want you to keep it up, dude. Like obviously you're not going to stop, but like keep up, like the sky's the limit, and only you can hold yourself back, right? So you're your own worst enemy. So true. Like you said, you got up every day, you friggin' shaved, you put some gel in, you got looking pimping. Keep that shit up, man. Like really, you're doing an amazing job. You're inspirational to all of us.
It's worth it for sure. I appreciate that, man. That stuff does help. I think just with mental health too, like anyone, whether you're an artist or you do have a set to play or not, even if you've got nothing to do in that day, kind of like focusing on yourself a little bit, putting a little bit of time into yourself and saying like, I can do stuff, I'm capable, all this, it all helps because we get into those moments sometimes. And I got into that a bit after the streaming thing when I took some time off. I was like, man, I'm doing nothing right now. Like I'm so, like bored and like disappointed in myself because I'm not completing stuff or working on stuff. But we need those times sometimes too, right? Like the downtime, and then just reminding yourself that it's okay to hit a wall and maybe just like lean on that wall for a bit and then move on. Like just get on with it when you can. That's
right. You can write it like those downtimes make good times good times. You know what I mean? Like that's just the reality of life. Yeah, exactly. Like you couldn't have a breakthrough if you weren't stopped from something, right? Like that's right. You can't have those moments if you were never stopped, or that's right, man. Yeah, or whatever. Well, this has been an awesome interview, and I hope it wasn't too glitchy for everybody. I know our internet's not the greatest here, but I'm trying, and I want to thank you so much, Shook Planet. Like I said, everybody go to Bandcamp. That's where I want everybody to go. I want everybody to go download Shook Planet stuff and drop that guy money. Don't be everybody who knows what's going on knows what's going on. So like I said, I usually hand out CDs, but here we go. I'm going to give you this. Go find this guy on Bandcamp and download his stuff. I want to thank you so much. Thanks, thanks a lot for having me, dude. Yeah, man, this has been a great episode and like so cool. So cool. I can't wait till COVID's done so I can come meet you. Yeah, man, that's going to be great. Definitely come out here, and that'd be a fun episode too. Even just like, I love letting people kind of get behind this setup too. We've had a few people over, again, like earlier when things were okay to have people over. Yeah. And I always like to make that clear, but like just letting someone else take the reins and jump behind this kind of board, and whether there's something already playing and just kind of like see what you can do with it, or it's fun. I love sharing this with anyone. So yeah, if you want to come hang out and we'll play around with all this cool equipment and do another episode, that'd be awesome, dude. I think we're gonna book it. All right, so we'll whenever else is done, we're gonna do it. We'll promote all the rest of your songs, because like you said, you're making songs every day, so I'm pretty sure you'll have a whole nother catalog for us by that time, right? Yeah, definitely. All right, man. Well, that was an amazing episode of What's Happening. I think this is episode maybe 23. So like this is pretty good. Like with your live streaming thing, man. I started this at the beginning of COVID, and I'm just doing this for fun. Wow. I'm doing this to meet new cool people, and I'm on episode 23. It's a lot of work, and it's just, hey man, I've learned some cool shit. Like I said, if you don't come out of COVID with a new skill, then you're wasting your time, because there's been a lot of time going by, It's true. I so fast here just was like gone, and yeah, man, congratulations too for putting all these episodes together and doing all that work, and while still being out there working, as an essential worker. And I know, thank you for that too, for being out there doing what you do, Joel. That's awesome. No worries, man. Well, there it is. That's episode 23, ladies and gentlemen. What's happened with Shook Planet? See you later, buddy.
So simple could ruin a day. I never heard nothing but a moving away. And though I said I wouldn't be that surprised, I found myself broken and dry in my eyes. So what am I doing? I've never been so down, and I know I'm the reason why you're not around. Mistakes I end up on the ground. I, well, I end up on the ground. And if I tried more to stay in my lane, well, I wouldn't feel slowed down like so simple could ruin a day. I never heard nothing but moving away. And though I said I wouldn't be that surprised, I found myself broken and dry in my eyes. So what am I doing? I've never been so down. And I know I'm the reason why you're not around. Try to make less mistakes, well, I end up on the ground. And if I tried more to stay in my lane, well, I wouldn't feel slowed down like
All right, guys, there it is, episode 23 of What's Happening 613. I want to thank Ted Evans, that Shook Planet. This guy is a mastermind. It's so cool to see what he did with Socan, and it went through. It's now official. The boy has been paid. The man has been paid. So congratulations, Shook Planet. That is so cool. It's really neat to find out about all these like digital things he's all into. So if you're an artist, you know, look into this kind of stuff. I'm actually might look into Socan because I write my own original music, and shit, if I can get paid for it, let's do this, right? Like, I do it for fun, I do it for the love, but hey man, if we can make a couple dollars off our songs, that's pretty cool. So thank you so much, Shook Planet. Got some really cool things coming up here. I've reached out to some bigger people than I ever thought maybe I'd be talking to. And you know, if you shoot for the stars, you're gonna land on the moon. So keep your eyes peeled. Like, I got some amazing local artists like Clarence Cooney coming up. Why do I keep calling him Clarence Reed? Who knows? But maybe he needs to change his name for me. So Clarence Cooney's coming up. We got like Hailing the Pirate Queens. We got so many amazing people. Ken Tizzard. This guy is plays for the Watchmen. He's a bass player for the Watchmen. Go check out the Watchmen. You obviously know who they are. They got a song called Stereo that everybody loves. I love it. So, and also I'm really working on something right now with a man named Andy Spalling, I think. He is the conductor, like the lead guy for the Commodore 52 band, the big band from Trenton. So I'm going to be doing a little history lesson, and we're going to go back all the way to like 40s music, all the way up to the present day of this big band that's been around Belleville forever. It's going to be so cool because we're going to touch in on how they literally took a horse barn and turned it into a club back in the day. So this is going to be one of my favorite episodes coming up, other than the one we just watched right here with Shook Planet. So that's what's happening, guys. Make sure you buy local. Like right now with all this shit going on, Anna and I had a couple things that we wanted to sell. We sold them online and it helped us out, and we also helped out somebody else by giving them a good deal. So if you need something, why don't you look on Facebook and Kijiji and all that stuff before you go buy something brand new, because there's a lot of great stuff out there that people aren't using, and you can get a good deal and you can help them out too. So it's amazing. So like I said, try and buy food from all your local fruit stands. We got Marshall Farms down there. They're on Marshall Road, 234 Marshall Road. They got a vegetable stand out there. Everything you need, go get them. Local produce. Get it fresh. Get it while you can. Live it how get it how you live it, my boy Jesse would say. That's right, guys. We're gonna have Jesse on here again with Hot Sauce Co. because this guy has now got his hot sauce in stores all around the Queenie area. So next episode, I'm really gonna push this, but I want all my friends and family and all my supporters on here to go out and find the Hot Sauce Co. It's gonna be in the Foodland in Foxborough. It's gonna be in the Country Butcher store. It's gonna be in Bibbs Meat. Go get this stuff, man. I'm telling you right now, habanero mango is delicious. You can eat it on everything. He's got pickles and peppers. Thanks, Sam. And he's got like a couple other ones. They are amazing. Maybe a couple more dollars than your normal hot sauce, but also this is a guy using local produce, making it all himself, and he has amazing packaging. And let's just support this guy, okay? So I want you to go find Hot Sauce Co. at, like I said, any store around the area. And that's what's happening, guys. Let's support each other, because us supporting each other is getting us further in life than anything it really has. Like, I want to thank every single one of you for liking all my stuff, sharing all my stuff, subscribing. Keep it up. If you have something you want me to subscribe to, send it to me. I want to support everybody. So let's do this. Let's keep it going, okay? Pat me on the back. We pat you on the back. And we love this stuff. So that's what's happening. And let's keep it going. See you guys later.